Good morning, good afternoon, etc. I certainly hope everyone's doing well today. Hello there, Ruby. How are you? Oh. Ah, my nose. You're doing pretty good. That's good. Oh, it's starting to just do something kind of chill. Just, you know, because it's flipping so warm. Way too hot. I think having this around me is making it even hotter, to be honest. Yeah, you can see what I've been playing recently. Whatever. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, doesn't know that we're in a heat wave right now. Am I doing this the hard way? Oh, absolutely. Oh, I recently rewatched a, speaking of shiny hunting, actually, I recently rewatched the video on shiny hunting every single shadow Pokemon in Colosseum. It's like, I believe it did take the person forever. Managed to get quite a. Apparently, it took it. I think like one I think it was specifically like Mantine, or I think it was I think it was specifically Mantine took the guy like. It took I don't even know this guy. It took them like over like about a year by itself. Apparently, the rest literally that was like the. Oh, sorry, it took him about 6 months. I think he said. Or something like that. Or it was either a year or 6 months, but the rest of it took about the same amount of time for the rest of them. Or like it took him 2 years for the rest of them. It was just specifically that one Mantine. That took him forever. Just because of the really weird way that the game handles Pokemon IDs. And how the noise function works. And the fact that you won't know if a Pokemon is Shadow is actually a shiny until you catch it, because the trainers that send them out have their own internal IDs and personality values and like hidden IDs and everything. So and that's what they use to determine shininess in Colosseum. So it's entirely possible that if it appears shiny, then when it's sent out, then if you catch it, it will not be shiny. Really stupid. Thankfully, you don't have to go through all that issue in XD, because none of the shadow Pokemon can be shiny. Because it rolls for shininess, and then if it rolls that they are shiny, it will re-roll it until it is not shiny. For the shadow Pokemon specifically, the wild ones you can get from the spots, from the like snack spots, those are capable of being shiny. I think it's just because they just didn't want to have to worry about the nonsense that was shiny Pokemon in the first in Colosseum. Probably. Oh yeah, and in Colosseum, once a shadow Pokemon, I think in both games, once a shadow Pokemon is sent out, its stats, its shininess and everything is locked in. You can't just lose you can't just not catch it and then try again. It's just locked in. It's so flippin' stupid. Bam, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. I never noticed that the thing on the back of Arceus' head is like was wiggly. I thought it was like a rigid structure. No, it's wiggly. It's like hair. I guess that really helps sell the uncanny feel to it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ooh, jeez. Big yawns. Okay. Yes. I mean, to be, yeah, I suppose that was really the precursor. Well, no, to be fair, shiny locks were already in the game. In the previous games, I'm pretty sure Mew was shiny locked in for the tickets. For the thingy ticket, I'm pretty sure Mew was shiny locked. For the e-reader ticket that you could get. Oh dear. Just a teeny tiny, really weak Mew. Just against this stupid thing. I'm definitely going to train up these catching ones I've got if I want to deal with Darkrai. Which I do want to do in the future. I'm going to be shiny hunting that after I get Arceus. I do love how they framed it so the sun is directly behind him when you're standing there. If the thing with shinies, they're meant to be like rare, cool things that people do need to search and hunt for to get. Why make it so some of them just can't be and waste people's time? The only ones that make sense for it are like gift Pokemon from event stuff, since they're all kind of the same mon at the end of the day, in a way. I got a yawning. Jeez. Oh, to put it simply, I have the foggiest. I do think generally that, I think some of it is like Pokemon in a cutscene don't appear, like certain Pokemon in cutscenes don't appear shiny, so they don't want to, like, have that be separated. That's literally the only reason I can think of for why they put shiny locks on, like, the starters at the beginning of the game and certain legendaries. Honestly, there's a lot of weird things that I was like, you know what, sure. And like mythical Pokemon are 99% of the time just given out through distributions at this point. Although actually, no, I say that, but they've actually been doing pretty good at, like, with mythical Pokemon not just being handed to you, they actually give them like at least a little bit of story nowadays again. Going back to giving them at least a little bit of in-game story, like with the ones from Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. Well, Scarlet and Violet mainly. But Sword and Shield and obviously BDSP being faithful to how you get these ones, even adding the Azure Flute event, which wasn't in the original games. They never distributed it because it was too complicated, which I don't get. If it was so complicated, why not just have an NPC or professor say, oh, that's an interesting flute. It was said to be played at... That's an interesting... Or like have go to Celestic Town and like have a Cynthia be there and say, oh, hey, that's an interesting flute. I believe that was supposed... according to my research, was played during ceremonies at Spear Pillow back in ancient times. Or something like that. Just weird. The really silly thing I remember off the top of my head. Of course, how you actually get Meloetta is kind of silly, but then that's just par for the course with a lot of these ones. How are you supposed to know that you were supposed to take this specific item to this specific spot? Unless the Wonder Mail told you. Oh. Actually playing this again has reminded me of, like, a video I saw back in the day of, like, at least a couple of them. I believe I actually mentioned this to you because I just could not find the video for the life of me. But it was of, like, a walk through walls. People using walk through walls in Diamond and Pearl. And, like, south of, Canalave City was, like, they just ran south of it and they just found this random puddle of water. Like, puddles like you would find on, like, the rainy route. I've forgotten the name of it, or on like the blown up lake. Just find random puddles of like a random puddle of water that the player had like no running animation for. Like the player had no like walking or running animation on it, so it would just float over the puddle. It was like only like a 3x3. It was like one of those things like, that's such an interesting location. And just such a random thing too. Like, was it like a scrapped area? They just didn't bother to... Oh, that's probably what it was, to be fair. If it's real, it was just a scrapped area that they didn't really flesh out very much. They had like that area as like a placeholder, like, oh, we can put something here. And they just scrapped it. Very strange, though. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So, I actually do like. There's a video relating to that. I actually do want to make. I think there's a lot of videos I want to make in the future. Mostly all like commentary stuff about like various game design ideas and such I've got in my head. I hope I'll be able to actually do that sometime in the future, and I can actually get off my lazy butt and do stuff like that. Do 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 do. What other interesting things have been going on? Have I seen or? Well, yeah, I do actually, yeah, I do recommend giving that, if you are actually interested in getting any specific shinies from Colosseum, I do recommend giving that video a watch that I mentioned. I actually do not remember the name of it. I should probably look that up. Colosseum. I think that's how you spell that. There's only one S. Or is it two S's and one L? Yeah. Yeah. Catching all shiny shadow Pokemon in Colosseum with the power of RNG by Lettuce Leaf. Very, very fun video. He talks quite a very fun video. Goes pretty in depth about the mechanics of how the how shiny hunting works in there. Very good. I mean, there's also the Pokeblocks video, and the offshoot and like the sequels to it about the other about the other food item that does a thing. That's another YouTuber did, who again I don't remember the name of, and I don't think and I think I cleared my history, so I don't think I can search it. Actually, I can just say the absurd. I remember the title because it's the absurd history of sorry. The absurd, like, I think it's like the absurd depths of Pokeblocks, and then there's like a whole bunch of other ones. That's actually kind of interesting. It's all interesting on how exactly the mechanics that they introduce for these things all work. I really love learning about this stuff. Yeah, although to be fair, that's kind of Pokemon in a nutshell, is that it all seems super simple on the surface, but like you go into any of the mechanics, you go into like any of the mechanics, any of the mechanics in any way in depth, and it's just a absolute crazily intricate and how things work out. How things are worked out and such. It's honestly kind of crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I forgot what it was now. I think like the amount of points you earn for certain things later on in another version of the game, and like, so I don't remember. Well, to be fair, EVs are a really good example of that, really, isn't it? Effort values are a very good example. I was like, oh, it's like stats can get up to a certain number of points by doing this, but no, it's separated into like, you need specific points, and it's every 4 is an extra point at specifically level 100. So it's like, wow, that's really like kind of nuts, isn't it? I feel like this is probably a good time for me to like express my opinions on like some of the games that have come out. Yeah, I feel I can talk about that. So I have basically played at least one game from every generation. And I think I can really just say I think I can give my general opinions on pretty much all of them. So I played Pokemon Red and Pokemon Yellow, and Pokemon Blue, actually, I think. Yeah, I played Blue because I have that physically. They're fun. They're definitely held together by duct tape and a dream, but they're like, it is no wonder that the franchise definitely got as popular as it did, not just from like the anime, but also from the actual games, because the actual games are actually kind of solid. They're jank as all heck, but definitely solid overall. You know? Like, there's a reason people still do, like, obviously, they're the first ones, so they are probably like, overall, in terms of, like, mechanics and everything, kind of the worst in the series. And of course, there's all the jank making everything not work how it's supposed to. But, I mean, you can definitely see it. Yeah. Yeah. With Gen 1, you have to think about it from the perspective of what was also around at the time they came out. Yeah, pretty much. And also, it was kind of like, I believe it was like that, the first time people had actually tried to do something like that. This is like the original Game Boy. Most games were a lot more simple, and it was a full-on RPG on such a mobile system with very little space on the cartridge, if I remember correctly. It's honestly pretty darn, it's honestly a really impressive feat. And Gen 2 was even more impressive. They just added so, like, it is basically, this is bigger and better. I think the main issue with it was just, like, the Pokemania had died out around that time. I think it was around probably around the time Gold and Silver was when Pokemania was dying down, and, like, people were starting to see it as just this kiddie thing that they had fun with, but they don't care about anymore. Yeah, 512 kilobytes. Yeah, it's not even a megabyte. It's half a megabyte. And that it is insane they managed to fit literally, like, I know people could clear the game really quickly, but I mean, if you're just playing it how it's intended, you're probably gonna definitely get like several, like at least a couple of weeks of gameplay out of that. If you're just going through the main story, if you go for more, you can get potentially limitless depending on what you're trying to do. As I said, Gen 2 was definitely the bigger and better generation. Like, this, like, obviously they managed, thanks to, I think was it Iwata or was it Miyamoto? Who basically managed to, like, create that compression software that basically halved the size of the game so that they could add more to it. And like, they managed to get, I mean, it was mostly the same map. They did have to cut out a few areas and change specific areas, but yeah. Had all Gen 1 stuff in there somewhat. It was 710 kilobytes. It's also really crazy. Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously certain areas were like slimmed down. The Viridian Forest was not on a separate map area in the original Gen 2. It was just like a maze with like tree sprites that was just part of the route. And I believe, and obviously they had Cinnabar Island be cut up, be like destroyed, and a few other things, but like, it was still absolutely fantastic for what it was. Worked really well. Then you had Gen 3, which like really brought everything to like more vibrancy. It introduced a lot of the mechanics we have today. Well, with it introducing IVs, EVs, and a bunch of other stuff really, and like a bit more of a, and like the legendary Pokemon being a bit more like involved, and like the legendary Pokemon being a lot more involved with the story, as let's be honest, they kind of weren't in the original game. Like Gold and Silver and Red, Blue, and Yellow and all that, the legendary Pokemon weren't really involved in the games. The first one that actually really had them be a bit more involved with the story was Crystal, and then they're, and like from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald onwards, the legendary Pokemon have been like intertwined in the story to varying degrees, like usually as the big final bosses, or something related, or something similar, but yeah, or as the thing that the like evil team is trying to get access to. It introduced contests, which I think people still think is like the best side mode. Like it's the best like side mode with its own unique stats, own unique ways of building for it, etc., etc. And all this stuff would only get refined, and like obviously we had the Gen 1 remakes, which added literally an entire mini region in the Sevi Islands. Along with like adding a lot more characterization to the characters. It was Gen 2 again. The Gen 3 really wanted to keep characters a lot more around, with the champion being actually involved in the story in some way. And yeah, really quite... obviously it had Colosseum and XD, two games which are like very beloved by the fan base, especially nowadays. Just for their much more darker tones. And like... Well, obviously XD is a bit more lighter than Colosseum, but it's still, you know, a lot darker than a lot of Pokemon games go. So honestly, that, like, that I consider those very fun. The secret bases as well, that was another thing that was introduced and unfortunately abandoned. And honestly, I liked it. I like the secret base idea. There was a lot of good in there. What was the next thing? The next one was Generation 4, which is my personal favorite generation. So a lot of bias here, but I never said this would be objective. This is subjective entirely. It added the physical special split, which allowed Pokemon of any type to have any stat combination and not be useless. Like, so, because like there were so many, like honestly, Generation 3 introduced so many like physical water types. All of the dark types they added were physical based, except for like one, I think. All of the it introduced, I'm pretty sure, I think, what was it again? Well, it introduced like a whole bunch of physical mons for types that were special. And so they changed, and so like the physical special flip was a godsend for so many Pokemon. And it hurt a few Pokemon, definitely. It definitely hurt a few Pokemon. But it helped so many more, and those Pokemon that were hurt basically just got other moves that did the same job. Like, it refined contests into, like, it helped refine contests into something fantastic, and I do think the Gen 4 iteration of contest is still my favorite. Overall, as, like, doing dress-up, doing the dance segment, that's really fun, and then, like, working out how to do it. I was bad at it, but I had fun doing it. Platinum really showed us how, like, showed the starts of how good they could start writing a story, because Diamond and Pearl, like, that was the groundwork for it. It was very good with the story was alright. Nothing really a step above the previous games, but definitely there. And then Platinum built up on that a lot more. And it was like a really good showcase of just how much you can improve the third version. As it was almost a completely separate game, I'm gonna be honest. It was so good. All the redone gym puzzles made the other gyms so much better. Like all the slightly weaker gyms, they improved them so much with the redone puzzles. Like Erica's is the one that not Erica. Pokemon God does not love you. It does not appear shiny. No, it hasn't appeared yet so far. I've been doing this on and off for a very long time, for like since this event came out, basically. Well, actually, it was documented when I started going for this. But yeah, the Sinnoh Underground, that was a really fun mode. I spent so long down there. The secret bases, I definitely do wish that they'd kind of given us some slightly different layouts, given us some slightly different looks. Because like I like how you could have it in a tree, or you could have it pretty much like in a tree, in a sandbar, in a cliff, in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, but it's only underground, so it's all like a rocky texture in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But still, it was very fun. The idea of like stealing flags from bases was really good. To like upgrade your, to like just upgrade. That was a really fun idea, even if it did limit what people without people near them could do. Obviously, it was the first games to introduce proper online connectivity, and thus we had the global trade station, which made at least filling out your Pokédex supposedly much easier. It really built up like the mythology and just how important legendary Pokemon could in fact be. It gave us some really fan favorite Pokemon in general, because there's a lot of Pokemon that I see a lot of people say that are really good. What else was there? Come on, brain, you got this. Heart Gold and Soul Silver were like absolutely fantastic remakes. They kept everything that was brilliant with those games. Added a bunch of extra stuff from Crystal. And it just added even more, like, the Pokeathlon, which I nearly 100%ed. I just got... There was, like, this one minigame that I couldn't get the gold medal on, and it was really annoying me. And it really annoyed me. The pennant capture... the pennant capture one, I just could not get the required number of flags. It was really annoying. But, like, that was, like, I didn't feel like it was an unfair target. It just felt like I wasn't good enough to get it, which is, like, a really good thing. Then we had, what else? Well, there was also the villa in, Platinum. That was a really fun way of spending money. And you also got even more, information. The entire, like, extra, like, the survival area, the battle area, and the resort area had the entire coat of paint changing was fantastic. In like giving it a slightly more tropical look, along with like Stark Mountain having such a like looking way better than in Diamond and Pearl and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'm gonna be honest. Looking like an actual active volcano rather than a well, active/dormant volcano. I don't remember if it was supposed to be active or dormant. Giving the villains more, like having you encounter the villains even more. Looker, series staple Looker. Mesprit ran away. Ah dear. Like Looker is a series staple. What else did we have? Oh yeah, that, Generation 4 also introduced like the easier way of getting gym leader rematches, because let's be honest, the previous games had it a bit tricky for gym leader rematches. And so that was really fun, getting to see them at their full power. It like the oh yeah, Generation 3 had introduced the Battle Frontier, and then I believe and then Generation 4 definitely gave us a really good Battle Frontier, I'll tell you that much. Like it just refined so much, and is like such a good game. The story was great. The Pokemon they introduced were fantastic. Just brilliant overall, I'd say. What else was there? After that, we had... Oh yeah, Generation 4 is also home to like the best Mystery Dungeon game. So, well, the best Mystery Dungeon game and the best Pokemon Ranger game as well. I believe everyone considers Shadows of Almaya like the best Ranger game. So, you know, fair enough. What else did we have? Yeah, well, there was a Pokemon Battle Revolution, which I think people really do like that one. Especially just for a lot of the animations we got from it. People, like, it's still, like, I'm pretty sure Twitch Plays Pokemon still has it on there to this day. So, that's really good. It also gave us the nearly impossible shiny hunt Pokemon Battle Revolution of trying to shiny hunt specifically the costumes in, the Frontier, not the Frontier, the Colosseum Masters costumes in Battle Revolution, because that is really stupid. So I first learned about this because when I got Pokemon Battle Revolution, I also got given the guide to the game, and it outright says in the post story Colosseums, you can get if you're lucky, you'll encounter because sorry, I should specify. Hunting Pikachu shiny, lol. Yeah, that's fair. What was I saying? Ah, yeah. So in Colosseum, in Battle Revolution, some of the Colosseum masters have outfits that they use the same model as the player, and they have an outfit themed after a specific Pokemon. For example, the default, I've forgotten the names of the specific names of them, but the default boy and the default boy has a Groudon outfit. The default girl has a Kyogre outfit. The cool guy has a Lucario themed outfit. The cool girl body has a Roserade outfit. The muscle man has a Electivire, and the the little girl has a Pachirisu dress. And if you beat them on a certain difficulty, you can then use that outfit. However, if you're lucky, you will find a the Colosseum Master will be wearing the shiny variation of that outfit. However, you better hope you haven't beaten the Colosseum Master before, because if you have the regular version of the outfit, you can't get the shiny version. Which is stupid. And I want to believe that's just a coding error. But honestly, I don't even know. You found the shiny one too. Well, to be fair, it's like t-shirt, shorts, hat, leggings, and all that. Of shoes and gloves. But yeah, it's really stupid, is what I'm saying. That's what you have to worry about. But yeah, I just want to believe it's a coding error and not an actual problem. And not an actual thing they decided to do. And funnily enough, the guide actually warns you that that's the case as well. If you find the shiny variation of the if the Colosseum Master is wearing the shiny variation of the outfit, but you already have the regular outfit, you don't get the shiny variation as well. They actually point that out, and I find that that's like, oh wow, that's really good. What else did I have? But yeah. Next up was Generation 5. Which I think everyone agrees was like a real step up in the story department. Both games had very, very solid stories. 2 was a bit more par for the course than usual, but still very solid. Hunting for the Pokemon box shiny Jirachi. Oh, yeah. So in America, that was the bonus disc for Colosseum. In PAL regions, you got Jirachi from playing the Pokemon TV. The Hey You Pikachu sort of sequel where you basically watch TV programs. In PAL regions, that's how you got Jirachi. Because we never got the bonus disc. In Japan, Colosseum came with this. You could get Celebi from Colosseum instead of Jirachi, which makes way more sense. Let's be honest. What was the next one we had? The next one was... Yeah, so Black and White. honestly, again, they added a lot of interesting things. We had the animated Pokemon sprites. We had entirely new ways of battling with rotation and triple battles. Sorry. We had the Entralink was like the first foray into truly multiplayer Pokemon, and it was really cool. We had the Pokemon Dream World. I spent so much time in that. I really hope that someday the efforts to restore the Pokemon Dream World bears fruit. I actually do have the Muno they gave away when the Pokemon Dream World website was actually shut down. Black and White 1 and 2 are the only mainline games you've never got to play to this day. Oh, wow. Pokemon musicals were fun. I don't think they were quite as good as contests were, but they were still pretty fun. Black and White 2 obviously had the PokeStar Studios for making movies. That was really fun. I really did enjoy that. It's one of the better ones. That was a really fun one that they probably could bring back at some point in the future, especially with a remake. What else? What was the next? What else did they have? I just don't remember. Again, a lot of Pokemon people generally like are also in those games, so that's definitely a bonus. I suppose it was also like the last bastion of like interesting events. Oh dear. It was the last bastion of like interesting event Pokemon where you actually had a little mini story play out. We had the cross transceiver you got. That was pretty fun with all the little apps you could have. Obviously it had its problems as well, but like the fact that you actually had more differences between games than just the Pokemon, like Blackthorn City and Black City and White Forest were both vastly different. And the seasons was a very fun mechanic as well. Pokemon Dream Radar was a fun little AR title. I don't remember most. I don't think I played a lot of the oh, actually, Gates to Infinity was an alright mystery dungeon game. Gates to Infinity was alright. I enjoyed it. Did find it kind of weird you couldn't actually recruit any legendaries though, but I did like the little park mechanic you got. That was pretty fun, where you could like where you could set up shops. That was pretty good. Generation 6, that was also really good. I really like Generation 6. That had a lot of good stuff in it. Obviously introduced Mega Evolution, which is like the start of the regional gimmicks. It was very, very fun. X and Y definitely, like, I love, it was the first foray into 3D Pokemon, and it was quite fun for that as well. I like the characters. Like, obviously the story was definitely a bit of a letdown, but I liked a lot of the characters. It had quite a lot of fun, silly charm to it in various places. Like the random ghost story. You just get roped into and it's just very silly. It had a lot of fun little mysteries. It introduced like Looker, reintroduced him properly. And again, I gave him like a good solid big role in the post game, and it was like, oh, that's really good. I love that. Ugh. You love the Pokemon and Me? Yeah, Pokemon and Me was like fun. The idea of the oh fudge, come on, brain. Like adding adding a system of like similar to Friendship but requires more work was very good. I loved doing the head bonk mini game. It was super good. The little room you could set up in your in Pokemon and Me. You could set up a little room for Pokemon. It was like it was super good. That was really good. Just decorate to your heart's content. Nice little backgrounds. Pop up a bunch of decorations. It was really fun to make that. The PPS, the Player Pass system. No, the PSS, the Player Search system. One of those. That was really solid as well. That was fantastic. I'm gonna be honest. That was really good. That's probably like the best way they've done connectivity for a very long time. And it was the best way they could do it since. To BH. Then what else did we have? We had... Oh yeah! We had the, Oh, it introduced the, experience... Oh, it introduced how modern games do the experience sharing, which obviously I know some people hate it, but I don't really care. The game, like, it's just a matter of balancing the game around the fact that all your Pokemon are going to be you don't have to work quite around the higher levels your Pokemon are going to be. So, and the game, and they're not supposed to be hard anyway. Horde battles were a really fun idea, and it led to some really fun things like a horde battle of like a bunch of Zangoose and a single Seviper. All the Zangoose just gang up on the Seviper. And vice versa. Sudowoodo just randomly appearing in a horde of Trevenant. I love the idea, like, because it was 3D, they gave us like an extra thing where like certain moves could interact with the background. I wish they explained that a bit more in game, so you didn't have to like look it up, but it is pretty fun. The berry mutate, like how, like getting the berries to mutate in the berry plot, that was a really fun little thing of trying to get more berries from there. That was really fun. Oh, needed a breath there. Yeah. That was a lot of really good in X and Y, and Omega Ruby, Alpha, and Sapphire went on further with the improvements. I know everyone loved the Dex Nav feature. That was a really fun one, and also being able to like find all the older Pokemon, find like other Pokemon you couldn't before in there was really fun. While the story was just, while obviously the story was just Ruby and Sapphires, but with a bit of a coat of paint, I liked the new designs they gave Team Aqua and Team Magma. It was a lot more cohesive, and like the admins actually stand out a bit more. Ugh. The admins like do stand out quite a bit more. The gym leaders, I liked the slight tweaks in designs they got. I love the post-game, the additional post-game story for, like, the Delta episode. That was very good. That was a fun way of incorporating Rayquaza into the story. Yeah, the extra after story stuff was really good. The secret bases were fantastic, and, like, I loved how everyone just banded together to make, like, training bases. And how it has even more base locations than the original games. It was so good. Oh yeah, another thing for Gen 4 that I loved, the ball capsules. Being able to like customize your Pokemon, like Pokemon, was really fun. Like customize the way your Pokeball sends them out. I hope they bring that to Champions. That'll be fantastic. Like I know they like the whole point that they don't want to have to do that because of all the Pokeballs already in there having their own custom animations each time. But still, I think being able to add your own like capsules to it, being add your own animations to it would be really would also be really good for them to add. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, flying around on Latios and Latios/Latias was really good too. I really enjoyed that. It's so much more interesting than just flying somewhere because you can literally use it to yeah, so much better than just the normal fly because you could like go anywhere you want because like you could battle Pokemon in the sky. It was just so much fun. And finding all the like the hidden areas. The Mirage Islands being a way better implementation of the concept than the original Mirage Island. The Battle Maison was alright. I do like the sort of the big poofy dresses that the owners all have, but I think the Battle Frontier was generally a bit better. Cosplay Pikachu is, I think, a fan favorite extra little thing for them. That was a fun little thing you could do. And the return of regular contests were, yeah, no, it was basically just the original way of doing contests. It's fine. No problems with that. Although the Pokeblock making is so much simpler. Wins and wares will be $80. You're calling it now, and it will be sell very well. I imagine it might sell very well because from what we've been seeing, it seems like they've actually put a lot of the criticisms people have levied against a lot of the recent games to heart, and are actually trying to make it a better game than actually trying to make it even like trying to actually make it really good. Oh, dear, oh dear. Then we have, what else do we have? Generation 7. I could buy that. Price increase whilst having even a bit of polish means 2 justified price increase, which was coming anyway because, well, frankly, the economy is broken, but that's a different story. Indeed. Indeed. Then we've got Generation 7, which was Sun, Moon, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Definitely some of the darkest a Pokemon story has gotten was with Sun and Moon. I do like both games. I think I generally prefer Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but that's more so just because there's more stuff to do in them. They very much expanded the games a lot more. What with the map, what with the surf, what with Mantine surfing, with the photo studio, the story expansion with Team Go Rocket. Well, Team Rainbow Rocket, sorry, wrong rocket. The ability to get, like, the totem Pokemon, which, let's be fair, the totems were, like, the original versions of the original alphas, let's be fair. But yeah, just in general, the game had like a lot more to do, and it was honestly really fun. Really cool. Yeah. I forget what. Also, finally doing away with Hey Gems. I actually quite liked the helper Pokemon system. Pokemon Refresh was fun. It did kind of completely invalidate healing items, like status healing items, but still. The islands are made both as like the easiest, well, yeah, I'd say kind of, yeah, it's the easiest and, it's the easiest that stat training, and egg hatching has ever been. And it's absolutely fantastic. That's what, like, the fact that we had a thing that we could do idly is what got me into shiny hunting mostly in the first place. Like, I started with, I sort of started in Pokemon Y, but it was really, Moon and Ultra Moon that got me really into shiny hunting. Really just bolstering the, my ability to do that. And being able to do it, like, idly, it was so easy. The idea of the Pokebeans was really fun too, being able to like just grow get beans and like use the beans to grow berries, to get items get rare items and all that. And like train and increase friendship / hatch eggs is like really good. The plaza that you got access to, while definitely a step down from the player search system, was also quite fun, being able to have like NPC shops similar to the Join Avenue in Black and White 2. So you could get like lotteries, you could get friendship boosts, you could get stat boosts, all that good stuff. Yeah, Join Avenue was another good thing for Generation 5. That was really good. And of course we had the Generation 6. And of course in Generation 7 we had the Ultra Beast stories, which were also really good. Yeah. Then there was that many extra games in Generation 7. Generation 8, Sword and Shield and BDSP. Sword and Shield, I think, were very solid games, but unfortunately the story is just kind of there. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad either. It's just kind of middling. It is very much a case of, like, it feels, to me, Generations 8's story feels like the, they took the people making jokes about the fact that a 10-year-old is solving everyone's problems, and that the adults are kind of useless, and they just said, all right, we'll have a game where the adults try to solve everything. And so you just get constantly blocked from being involved in the story in any way. But yeah, also it was the first games to feature DLC, which I think they did all right. I think the DLC instead of a third game was a fair enough way of doing it. Then we have the, what do we call it? Got the name of it now. Sword and Shield also features a lot of really fun things. I still think Dynamax is probably one of my favorite gimmicks because it's a specific thing that any Pokemon, it definitely helps a lot of underused Pokemon be very good. And of course, it introduced the perfection that is Applin. Like, look at that boy. Perfect. What else did we have? Oh, fudge, my brain. My brain is... You can tell I'm tired. What else did we have? What else did we have? I did like messing around and making curry. That was pretty fun. The making camp and making a curry for your Pokemon. I liked that one. That was pretty good. Removing the limits from vitamins so that you can just power up your Pokemon using them was definitely the best. It introduced killed your Pokemon. Let's turn Pokemon into kids. That's just Tyranitar. That's just Tyranitar. We already have Godzilla and it's Tyranitar. Mints as well. I feel like they've been gradually making it easier, but I feel like Sword and Shield had the biggest jump into making competitive easier to get into. Let's turn Pokemon into food. Oh wait. It also had Legends Arceus in it, which I think which pretty much everyone really liked. I liked it as well, to be fair. Legends Arceus was a very fun game. And everyone really liked the storyline, I remember. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they are fine. They're perfectly serviceable, but it's just a very much wasted opportunity. We could have had something glorious, but they just kind of gave us Diamond and Pearl, but with slight tweaks. Again, I don't mind it because I like more Diamond and Pearl, but I kind of wish they'd just kind of done a Diamond and Pearl with some of Platinum's themes in it, and then a post-story focusing around Giratina. Then, of course, we had Generation 9, which was Sword and Shield... Oh, sorry. Scarlet and Violet and Legend ZA. Scarlet and Violet, fantastic again. I think they were fantastic games. They're like the best, some of the best they've made so far. Are there issues? Absolutely, but I do still like them. The story was great. All the new Pokemon were great. A lot of the new mechanics they added in were very good. Terrestrialization is it's a very interesting and thought-provoking mechanic. The DLC stories were pretty darn good too. We had... I think the major issue with it was just that it was very much rushed. It was rushed out, and unfortunately it was full of bugs. It's a lot better now, but yeah, that definitely tarnished its reputation. Then we've got Legends of Day. Again, this is definitely people getting fatigued with the same things over and over again, a lot more so than Sword and Shield. People definitely had a lot of that were definitely a lot more critical of it than I usually hear. I think it was fine. It's just a bit grindy, is my major gripe with that game. But otherwise, it's actually fine. I find the battle system pretty fun. The new megas are pretty darn cool. I don't mind it only being limited to one city because it takes a while to get around said city. And there's a lot of little nooks and crannies that you have to try and you can get into. How did they kill today? A lot of the stuff, yeah, as I mentioned before, that a lot of the issues with ZA is because it had to be on the Switch 1. And yes, it's better on Switch 2 specifically for Scarlet and Violet. And so yeah, we can only hope that Generation 10, Winds and Waves, they're actually going to take all that they've learned from the previous outings, what people didn't like, what people did like, and give us something amazing. We can only hope. How to get this off my lap? I think. Let's see if that helps at all. Oh, it's never going to help the heat. Jeez. There we go. And oh, it's not going to help with the model. Right, yeah, I forgot about that. Not going to help. I'll figure something out for next time. I say figure out something for next time when I'm actually just messing with the cable now. I need to be zoomed in a bit more. I mean, that kind of works. Sounds like I need some Pokemon sleep. I kind of do. It's been so hot lately, I haven't really been able to, to focus very well. Hmm? Yeah, okay, that's not worked at all. I'll have to figure out something. Oh, there I am. I'm here. Sort of. You can just about... Now you can't see me at all. Teeny... teeny tiny teeth. Hello! 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 Just kind of above, but I can't really see what's going on here. Hello! Go cuddle with an Eevee as the pillow. I do have an Eevee on. I do have an Eevee teddy. Usually it ends up being Torterra because it rolls right into the front of my bed, but still. Hello? I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out. I don't really have a good place to put it, unfortunately. Hello. It's just up off of you. Just poke my head up. Yeah, how everything's laid out, I can't really do much with it. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks, but what can you do? Yeah, it is how it is. Kind of run out of things to talk about now. Palworld? Pokopia? I haven't actually got Pokopia. And I haven't played Palworld in flippin' yonks. I haven't even checked if there's an what's been updated recently. I really should, to be honest. Get Pokopia. To the duality of man. Huh, I'm surprised you didn't have that. Get it now! Yeah, so I was definitely like, kind of like, I'll see how it is right before I buy it. And I've just kind of just asked for it for my birthday, and if I don't get it for my birthday, I'll probably just playing it right now. Fair enough. If I don't get it for my birthday, I'll probably get it myself, but currently it's just on the list. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's actually fantastic. One of my friends is like, I cannot believe that that is a good game. What else did we have? I mean, there's Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I'm also looking into getting that at some point. We've obviously got, oh, what was it again? Splatoon Raiders is coming out soon. Literally, yeah, it's coming out in July, so I'll probably see about getting that as well at some point. Might be around, might be when it comes out, might not be, don't know. I've got plenty of ideas here and there. Catty is. Then by day one, but I wish I was able to. It's Steam Machine's fault. You bought a... Did you try and buy a Steam Machine? Can I just say how flippin' massive the Super Mario Galaxy amiibos are? They're absolutely gigantic. They're like twice the size of any normal amiibo. I was not on sale yet. Yeah, those things are absolutely gigantic. It's kind of nuts. Better to get the Steam Machine then instead of now. The price increase thing got recently. Skipped them, no room, way too big. I got them. I just haven't been I haven't been able to put them in my display case, but I need to reorganize my display case anyway. There's a lot of stuff in there that I could probably just move around. It is currently filled with amiibo though, so you know. I could probably move it around to get it a bit more stable, though. Or I could look into getting another display case. Either or. Ah, dear. Yeah, apparently it's only in America that it's actually getting a price increase, which is interesting. I haven't seen any news that it's a pricing, like, it's just a huge, it's a major price increase. Like, for everywhere. Apparently, from what I've seen, it's only America. And again, I haven't really looked into it very much, but... I did put in an order for a Steam RAM and tariffs. Yeah, RAM and tariffs. I did actually put myself on the waiting list for the Steam controller because I do need a new controller, and I might for PC gaming, and I might as well grab that one. But yeah. AI is to blame. Yep. They're buying, like, from what I've learned, they're basically, I'm just basically, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna get into that right now. Put your order in for the gamepad on day 1, minute 1, and still nothing. I'm imagining it's going to take a while because there's going to be a load of people ordering that after the scalpers got them all the first time. And now the scalpers won't be able to sell them for very much. Toodaloo, Mikoto. Enjoy your sleep, as I'm imagining that's what you're going to do. Or whatever it is. Or if you're not going to sleep, then the other thing that you're going to do. So I'm musing about what I want to do with shopping. Yay! I can't tell if that's enthusiastic or sarcastic, but either way, have fun. So I keep forgetting to like just bring this up to you, Ruby, but I have actually been but now's probably a good time to just air it. It's like, I've been thinking about what I want to do with the videos I want to post, eventually. Obviously stuff like the Bonanza getting all the missing collectibles I didn't have at the end of the streams. That's going to be on the main, that's going to be on this channel because it's part of that. But I'm honestly kind of wondering if I want to have streams be part of if I want this specific channel to have the, to also host the other videos I want to do, or if I want to put those on a separate channel. So I can do brand channels, I'm pretty sure. I can have separate ones if I do it brand-wise, but, yeah. Because I know that streams don't exactly, if a stream does poorly, then... Yeah, to be fair, most of the content ideas I have are basically scripted. Yeah, I also have like ideas for just doing regular like game let's plays, I guess. Of course, that actually requires me to be able to get off my butt and edit stuff, but you know. Do 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 do. Like I did start trying to. I did want to try starting that with Monster Hunter Wilds, but in the end, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to play this game, like, recording it constantly. I just want to play the game. So I ended up deleting all that footage I made, especially because I was just super quiet throughout most of it, and so it wasn't exactly helpful. I have yet to find the true commentary voice, I suppose. While you're playing. Yeah, kind of. It's also like just talking about... It is basically that, yeah. I think that's why I do actually kind of prefer streaming a lot of this stuff, because it's just... I don't know why, but I find it a lot easier to make up, just think of stuff on the fly, and I don't feel as pressured to always be talking. I don't know why. I think I'm gonna go for like another 5 minutes or so. I touched on with talking on what I've been... No, the last minute? Yeah! I'd like to hear it. Playing Persona 5X a good bit, doing dailies, getting gems, have my pull plans pretty much set, with one thing that could upset or change them since the first global anniversary is around the corner. Yep, I remember you mentioning that. You just decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna like max out the twins. And they're saying new units coming to all servers in sync with it, which might include a character you really want. Like Elizabeth. If the character they drop for the anniversary is Elizabeth, then yeah, as I said, that would be a problem. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. Arceus. I'm glad you've been enjoying Kamen Rider Decade, actually. Ruby? Luffel, the Poll Planner website for news on if things around the leak, so shows up, say who the Annie unit is. Oh, was that... Did I miss something? No, I didn't. Yeah. We've only got to the Blade 2 part at the moment, as of this stream. But it's I kind of forgot how much Yusuke was like the heart, like the one who just comes around and like convinces people to actually be their best. And it's giving me a bit, definitely giving me a better appreciation for him. Because my general opinion of him was like, I mean, he's just kind of the butt monkey. But it really does feel like a lot more like he's like the heart character. Even though he is Kuga, he's first and foremost Yusuke, and is actually trying to help people and get them to improve themselves or make the tough decisions and set things right. Which, considering Decade is an antisocial jerk, makes him basically the face. Well, the face on, like, the actual, like, interacting with Riders side. Interacting with the general public, it's still probably Natsume. And her laughing pressure point. Well, I think that's it for today. I would love to thank you all very much for watching today. I'm a little exhausted at the moment, so I'm gonna wrap up a bit sooner than expected, and I'll say thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope I get to see you all on the next stream. Tatty bye!